Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning from Rome, Italy. My name is Ivan Bassato. I'm the chairman of UrbanV. UrbanV is a young company founded by airport operators of Italy and France. We are very thankful for the invitation to participate to the Korean UAM Conference. It's a privilege for us to be present at such an event. UrbanV is a company established in 2022 by 4 leading airport operators: Aeroporti di Roma, Save Venice Airport, Aeroport della Côte d'Azur in France, and Bologna Airport. We are based in Italy, but we intend to operate globally with the development of our business plan. The ultimate goal is to become a global leader in the advanced air mobility sector. Our vision is very simple. We aim to improve people's lives by enabling a fast, efficient, safe and clean alternative to the existing solutions. And we intend to do that over short distances and clearly by air. The focus of today is on the design, on the planning, on the building, the construction of vertiports, because these transportation solutions don't exist yet. We are also acting as an orchestrator of the new emerging urban air mobility industry at the Italian level and in the European landscape. But the core focus that we intend to exercise for developing this new industry is more shifted on the long term. It is more shifted on the exploitation and the operations of vertiport networks. As I said, we have a best-in-class airport heritage. Our shareholders operate airports that have achieved outstanding service excellence quality results. I would like just to mention that ADR, Aeroporti di Roma, is a 5-star airport, the only one in Italy, and there are only 2 airports in Europe and 12 worldwide that have been rated with such important ratings. We do have experience with helicopter operations. AK, Aéroport de la Côte d'Azur, the French Riviera, are the most developed market in Europe in this moment. We have a broad mobility background and expertise, and we are backed by solid corporate entities like our shareholders effectively are. At the beginning, we are developing 4 vertiport networks in partnership with our shareholders. So for sure, the activities will be at the beginning focused on the vertiport networks of Rome, of Venice, of Nice, by the Côte d'Azur, the French Riviera, and in Bologna. We already have more than 50 vertiports that are right now under design. And in one case, as you can see, we are physically in a vertiport that was already built last year and that has seen already the first vertiport and flying test. We have a promising development pipeline in Italy, in Europe and the rest of the world. As I said at the beginning, UrbanV really intends to act globally and particularly welcomes occasions like this one, where we have the opportunity to exchange at this very high level with counterparts in other world regions. When it comes to the roadmap of Aeroporti di Roma for the development of urban air mobility in Italy, we are very ambitious. We announced and we are actively pursuing a timeline that will see the activation of urban air mobility services between Fiumicino Airport, where we are physically located with today's presentation, and Rome City Center by the end of 2024. We intend to activate before the end of next year a commercial route, not a pilot, not a test, but a commercial route with the cooperation of a very important partner of us, Volocopter, between the International Airport of Rome and the city center of Rome. Together with Paris, Rome will be one of the first cities worldwide to receive a eVTOL commercial operations. And we are currently on track on such project to launch this commercial route by the end of 2024. By 2030, in a 6-year times, our network in Rome, according to our plan, will be extended to more than 10 active vertiports. We will have in 2030, according to our business planning, about 650,000 passengers each year, and there will be more than 40 active routes. If we look at the development roadmap of the urban air mobility services in Rome, I have to say that we started our journey 4 years ago. In 2019, preliminary innovative air mobility study were started in Italy with a strong cooperation of the Civil Aviation Authority of Italy, ENAC, and other industry and market participants. In 2021, we showed an eVTOL statically at the beginning in the reality of our airport and in the city center of Rome. There was a static display of the first eVTOL in Italy in history. A year ago, in 2022, we finished the construction construction of the vertiport where we are located right now. In that occasion, we celebrate the finish of the construction with the completion of the first test flight of an eVTOL in Italy and the first test flight of an eVTOL in a complex airspace airport traffic zone that actually Rome Fiumicino International Airport represents. By 2024, we plan to finalize the construction of the new vertiport of Fiumicino, not this one, which is a test vertiport, but the final one, which will be the commercial vertiport of Rome Fiumicino International Airport. And we plan also to build and finalize the construction of the vertiport in the city center of Rome. In 2025, we will have a very important global event in Rome, as we are planning to host the Jubilee of the Catholic Church. From 26 to 2030, we will have the further expansion of the network in Rome, which, as I said, according to our business plan, will see by 2030 the finalization of more than 10 vertiports within the limits of the city. In October 2021, we had the first static eVTOL display in the Terminal 3 of Rome Fiumicino International Airport and in the city center. For more than 2 weeks, the population of Rome and the passengers and the airport could physically see and touch an eVTOL, a new kind of transportation vehicle that was not existing before. That was done in cooperation with our partner, famous eVTOL maker, Volocopter. The first studies for vertiport integration inside the Rome Fiumicino International Airport have been initiated in 2019. By 2021, we already completed the first conceptualization and planning phase for inserting vertiports in the complex airspace of a large international airport and in the terminal system layout. The involvement of our biggest shareholders, Aeroporti di Roma, was actually originating all this work. Aeroporti di Roma and ENAC began their cooperation in 2020, and this cooperation developed eventually in a permanent and well-established working group that is orchestrating the implementation of innovative air mobility and urban air mobility in Rome and Italy, with a strong liaison to the work that EASA at a European level is doing. So, in Italy, we have a standing committee formed by the CAA, by UrbanV, by our airport shareholders, by the air navigation service provider of Italy, ENAV, and other industry participants that are relevant for the development of the ecosystem currently undergoing. So the main task of this working group, of this standing committee, is to implement the national roadmap that was defined for the establishment of UAM services in Italy and identify all those technological, regulatory and infrastructural challenges and gaps that need to be solved. We are now in the first vertiport of Italy, the so-called vertiport UV0. UrbanV 0. This vertiport was created to test and experiment all the solutions that we will need during the implementation of urban air mobility at commercial level in Italy. This vertiport was created in full compliance with the prototype technical specification of EASA for vertiports and with the idea of becoming a regulatory sandbox as it eventually became. So, the vertiport itself is a new kind of infrastructure, but also the airspace surrounding the vertiports are somewhat special because the full system integrates into a regulatory sandbox with the supervision, the oversight of our civil aviation authority, ENAC. This vertiport is the place of experimenting new solutions, new technologies and new products. We also want to experiment over here all the phases of the operations for commercial vertiports in order to establish a specific reference model for those operations. The vertiport UV0, where we are now, has all the features of a vertiport according to the new regulations. So here we are in a FETO. We have tail-offs, we have an apron, we have a small hangar, we have technical spaces and a warehouse, and we have a battery charging area. So everything was put together with the purpose of testing technologies and new processes. The vertiport UV0 is also very special because we are very close to the complex airspace of Rome Fiumicino Airport. We are in the space between the two parallel runways of a 3-runway system. So this vertiport is special also because we will test over here the integration of eVTOL operations into the legacy operations of commercial aviation. The vertiport UV0 represents a very important contribution of UrbanV and the shareholders of UrbanV to the emerging new industry of advanced air mobility. Over here we cooperate with major industry stakeholders like NLX-Way, like Volocopter, like SITA, like ENAV, like Leonardo, all very important partners for testing and experimenting everything that is necessary for the safe start of commercial operations. At the other end of the first commercial route that we are going to activate by the end of 2024, we will have the Rome City Vertiport. The Rome City Vertiport, according to our planning, will be a benchmark of sustainable vertiports. Rome is a city with 2,800 years of history. So when we create and we want to create a vertiport in this kind of city, we think it becomes extremely important to show maximum respect of the pre-existing situation. The vertiport will be part of a more general new transportation solution where many features actually merge together. So the vertiport will be inserted in an area that will remain green to a factor of 96% of the existing situation. So there will be vineyards, there will be vegetable garden, there will be a forest, there will be a running track for all the people living around the vertiports that want to enjoy the regeneration of such urban environment. So the vertiport will certainly have a very strong technological innovation aspect, but it will also be very sustainable from an environmental point of view. It will have a strong social value. It will integrate with the landscape of a city unique in the world like Rome. To achieve this result, to achieve this target, clearly there is a need of a very strong cooperation. And this is the message that I would like to launch to the conference in Seoul. Our experience shows that for developing a new transportation mean by leveraging of technology that has not existed before, really we need the cooperation of many important stakeholders. So most of our efforts right now are aimed at creating the ecosystem of urban air mobility in Italy and Europe. UrbanV is certainly at the center of this ecosystem, but UrbanV cannot do this alone. So the partnership with Volocopter, the eVTOL maker, is of absolute relevance, but also the relation with the Civil Aviation Authority and with many other institutions that will help us to make this dream come true. So thank you very much from Rome. It has been an honor to be part of the K-UAM conference, and I wish you a good continuation of the works in Seoul. Kamsa Amnida.